Welcome to the HF&S Podcast, where we are more relevant than Darrell Waltrip in a Just for Men commercial. We have so much to talk about today in NASCAR news, nothing about F1, and a lot about iRacing because we just got a big update this week.
Woo!
And I know we're all excited today. We got me, Nick Crawford, Brian Johnson, and Zachary Hall in the booth.
Welcome everybody live and anybody that's listening later in the weeks.
Okay. How you guys feeling tonight?
Pretty good. Not a lot in the motorsports community going on, but, we got some few good things, spicy things to talk about, I think.
Yeah, we sure do. Well, we always start with NASCAR, so why don't we start there? When were the trucks? Friday night?
Yes, that was a Friday night race at Las Vegas, night race.
Ooh, yeah, Las Vegas. That's
should have known they were.
from.
Yeah, they were down the street from you.
No,
A couple blocks down.
they're like 20 minutes away. Because the track's out in the middle of nowhere. So
Okay, 10 blocks down with traffic.
All right.
that traffic's terrible because Las Vegas Boulevard has got construction and
Ooh.
lots of fun.
Lots of fun for sure.
But, a lot of action for Las Vegas because Las Vegas now has 2 races this year. So
Well, ain't
they'll
you
be back in
lucky?
September.
Yep,
Yeah.
2 races this year for sure. I don't know if they're having 2 triple weekends like they are now because it was all 3 series here this weekend.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because the trucks, they were not. The trucks are usually in September, but that was
they're usually later. Yep.
Yeah.
See,
okay.
I know Kyle Busch was going for the triple this weekend, so at his hometown, he didn't complete it. Of course, everybody knows, but
Wasn't even close.
Yeah. I mean, he came close. So
I'll tell you about Kyle Busch, a story about him for a place I used to work, but
yeah.
Let's talk about these trucks first. Let's get these finishing order. So, of course, Kyle Busch won.
Yes.
51 car. Johnny Sauter second. Brett Moffitt third.
Third place again.
Good for him.
Grant Enfinger and Stuart Friesen.
Yes, that was Stuart Friesen is a dirt car racer, and he's getting very prevalent in the asphalt community.
Cool.
He actually I think he led like 30-something laps. I can't remember what it was. Yeah, he won stage 2. Yeah, he won a stage. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. See a guy from the dirt side come in here and perform well. He's been doing really good the last few races, so it's cool to see that. And Brett Moffitt too. That's another cool thing. It was a crazy race. I don't know if y'all got to catch any of it, but I didn't catch much of it. I watched a lot of highlights, but it was intense. I don't know if y'all knew about the new rules this year either. Have y'all heard about those for Truck Series? So this year they're a spec engine. Everybody has the same engine. There's no Chevrolet, no Ford, no Toyota engine.
What a disgrace.
It turned out to be some good racing because, the teams can pick to run whichever body they want. They can actually change bodies. There's some teams that will run Fords, Chevrolets, and Toyotas throughout the whole year of their body at certain tracks. Pretty interesting stuff.
It's not NASCAR, though. It's not NASCAR.
No, it is weird. I don't want to go any farther than the engine, let's just say that, spec, or the Truck Series. I wouldn't want to go farther, but it did create some really good racing.
I think this is them trying to fix the problem where you got Cup drivers coming down to the series and dominating. And now Cup drivers have to race the same engines as rookies.
Well, Kyle Busch still won, though.
Yeah, I think that's due to experience. And he's
it was a lot due to experience. And Brett Moffitt, let's just take this into account. Brett Moffitt was leading with a lot of
27 laps led. Grant Enfinger led 4. Stewart 31. Those are the big
Friesen. Yep.
I don't know. It's just, NASCAR is built off of, my Chevy's going to beat your Ford. My Dodge is going to beat your Oldsmobile.
Oh, yeah, with the big manufacturer war.
And you used to, I forget what the number was, but for a manufacturer to take part of NASCAR, they would have to sell a certain amount of that model of vehicle the year prior. And like last year, that's why I didn't really like Toyota doing what they did, bringing in their 2018 Toyota Camry in the 2017 season. So you guys literally have not sold a single one of these. They don't exist yet, but you're going to bring them into NASCAR, and that's,
yeah. It's interesting. It made like almost like a drafting race. If y'all didn't know, because It's nighttime. You're almost wide open. Really, I mean, if you're not wide open, you're not going to be winning. So they ran in packs, and like Kyle Busch and I think Johnny Sauter. I watched their interviews after the race, and man, let me just tell you, they were actually pretty impressed with how it raced. He said it was fun, but I don't think they would want it, in any higher series or anything. But it was interesting, definitely. Brett Moffitt had a really good shot at winning the race, and I think a truck came out of pit lane and side drafted him like all the way down the back straightaway. And Kyle Busch got a huge run on him and passed him, and then Johnny Sauter passed him after that. But man, it was good racing. It's everybody knows these trucks got a lot of downforce, so the racing is kind of hard to follow. So when they could draft off each other and still, hold it wide open, it was pretty cool to see them get that close. I guess you could say again, but I don't know if I'd want to see it though. Like I could say in the future, but. The truck race was good, but I think it was the second bit, maybe the best race of the weekend, actually, thinking about it. So, other races pretty much dominated.
Yeah, there wasn't much action going on in those. But, speaking of those, let's move on to Xfinity. Not much to talk about. We had a domination from Kyle Larson, but, it's another Cup driver. So,
definitely. Them guys definitely know what they're doing when they go down to that lower series. I think
it's like when they come
a lot
to
of people,
iRacing.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like seeing them down there. I don't like to see them in the playoffs. Like they've changed that rule right now, which is I think for the better. Lets them race a fair playoff race, But during the regular season, I think having these guys in, I think these kids want it. I mean, if you can beat Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson, what says you can't get in the Cup car and beat them? So. Well, I think that can prove your talent a lot. Yeah, exactly. That is the point.
You're supposed to climb up and then beat them, or you're just saying you want them to beat them whenever?
Well, looking back, okay, so we had a period of where there wasn't a lot of Cup drivers in the early 2000s running down there. But when Jeff Gordon was coming back, I know Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Mark Martin were regulars every week in the Busch Grand National Series, what it was back then. So like
50 wins, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he held the record there for a little bit.
And that's kind of how Jeff Gordon proved himself. He beat Mark Martin a few times and Dale Earnhardt Sr. a few times. People were like, "Oh, man, this dirt kid really has some talent. This open wheel kid." So
yeah, he raced like 4 races or something?
Yeah.
Or did he have 4 wins?
He had 4 wins in 91. In 91, he had 4 wins.
Yeah,
like 6 poles.
Jeff Gordon, he ran like 2 full seasons in the Busch series.
Yeah.
Too many numbers.
So Kyle Larson won. Christopher Bell second. Justin Allgaier, Ryan Blaney, and Elliott Sadler running out the top 5.
Yep.
That's
I think
mix to me.
Yeah. Junior motorsports cars with Justin Allgaier. Yeah, and Elliott Sadler. Those guys always run good, so like I kind of expect them to be there every week.
Elliott Sadler's making a comeback now.
Christopher Bell, they better watch out for because kid has been the only kid competing with these Cup drivers in the Xfinity Series. So
I think Elliott Sadler's just mad because of how he missed that championship last year. Being held up.
Mm-hmm. And having it taken away on this last few laps after he passed him. It's tough. And I mean, I think Elliott has a good chance to pull it out this year anyways, so he's a consistent guy, and I think of the Xfinity regulars, he's definitely the most experienced driver by far, and personally, he's been one of the most talented drivers, and he just hadn't had the chances in the Cup Series like he needed to.
Yeah, I mean, what he was when he drove in the Cup Series is in that 38 car for a long time. That was Yates.
Yeah, it was Roush. No, it wasn't Roush, was it?
No, it wasn't Roush. It was
Robert Yates Racing.
Robert Yates, yeah. And I mean, those cars are all right, but they weren't top of the line. So I feel like if he had a better ride, he wouldn't have had to go all the way back down to the trucks and then work his way back up. But he's getting there. He gets a championship in the Xfinity Series this year and next year. He'll be back up in the Cup Series in the next 3-4 years.
Yeah. I mean, I could see him in his career in the Xfinity Series, though, too, so.
I remember seeing back when I played those EA Sports NASCAR games. I think
It's in the game.
I think there was a fact saying that like he graduated from some college with like I know he had a degree. I think it was either in engineering or physics, and then he became a NASCAR driver.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know Ryan Newman has a bachelor's degree
That's who it
in
was.
mechanical engineering.
Yeah, it was Ryan
Yeah.
Newman. I thought that was
pretty
crazy.
cool.
And it really shows in his driving because you can tell just by the way he drives, like he's thinking about what each component of the car is doing and what he needs to make it do. It's pretty cool.
He always just looks super like slumped over too.
Yeah.
His brain's working hard.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's move on to Sunday with the Cup race. You know, I honestly...
It was a race?
Yeah. It's kind of what I expected to see. A lot of single file, not much action. That's kind of what Vegas has been. In a way, I missed the old track because they added like it was either 10 to like 15 degrees of banking a few years ago. And so they could get the 185 mile per hour corners, whatever.
Definitely.
But I kind of missed the flatter corners because it made it different, almost like a Kentucky, if anything.
Yeah, I like the old layout personally more. I didn't like them adding banking. I think adding banking just generic.
It just made it a carbon
makes
copy
generic.
Of all the other ones.
Yeah,
At this track, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, like a track like Charlotte, I would like some more banking there. Race at night, 40 degrees of banking.
It's just because, you have Charlotte before Vegas. Vegas is like 15 years old or something like that. I think
it's pretty young
when they first popped up. Or
so it's 21.
Wasn't it Jeff Gordon that won the first one?
So old enough to drink.
At Vegas, no.
It was one of the more recent veterans. I know that. It was either him or like Jeff Burton.
Yeah, it was something like that.
But let's talk about these results. Second week in a row, Mr. Harvick takes the win.
Good for him. Good for him. He was very fast, wasn't he?
Yeah, I'm still salty because last year when he said Dale Jr.'s not good and then he shouldn't be the most popular driver because he's not good.
Well, Kevin Harvick showed he's good with 214 laps led in a Stage 1, Stage 2 victory, which puts him really far out with them playoff points. Let's think about that.
He's already got 7.
Yeah, I mean he's set.
Building a championship.
He's already
right
set.
Now. He's building a championship right now. Think about it.
And he's the
Martin Truex.
Hey, I think he might. I mean, the pace he's on, if he continues this, he will be the next Martin Truex of last year with the amount of playoff points. I personally, I can't say that. We go to Phoenix next week where...
he loves that track. He runs good.
Yeah, so we don't know.
He hadn't done... I mean, he's been in the top 5 there past few years, but he don't have a win.
Yeah, we could see a 3 in a row here. And possibly get number 101 since he's won his 100th Cup race. My bad, not Cup race.
100th NASCAR win.
NASCAR win, yeah.
And he's never won 3 races in a row in his career, so that would be a first. And kind of to tack on his performance this past weekend, he was he led the most laps during that race and won the race. Yeah. Jeff Gordon still holds the record for the most laps led. I believe it was 218 or 219, but he finished 3rd or 2nd or something. Jimmy Johnson won that race.
Oh, darn.
Yeah. Kevin Harvick, 215 laps led and won the race. That's dominance.
Yeah, domination again. Domination.
He's almost led 400 laps in the past 2 weeks.
Impressive.
It's like
as for standings, after 3 races, he got 2 wins, 2 top 5s, 2 top 10s. Daytona, he didn't even finish at Daytona. He's got 3 and he's got 13 playoff points already. The next highest person is 5.
Austin Dillon.
And I believe in the championship standings, he's 42 points ahead of second.
No,
it's only 3.
Only 3.
Joey Logano second.
Where'd that 42 come? I saw a 42 somewhere around up there.
42 is how many points how many points second place gets in a race. He got 43 though.
Oh,
But he got even more. He got like 60 because of like stage points and stuff.
Now, so that's Chevy won the first one, but that's a plate race. Harvick, second one. Harvick, third one. But what's even crazier is where are the Chevys? Where are the Chevys?
They're back at the shop.
Yeah.
They left the good ones at home. They brought these weird ones. You got
iRacing's asking the same thing.
We'll get to that later, Brian. You got Kyle Larson in third. And then after that, no one in the top 10. You got Ryan Newman, 11th, Jimmy Johnson, 12th, Austin Dillon, 13th. And then Chris Buescher is the next Chevy after that. So, us being big Chevy fans.
Yeah.
Is it getting scary now?
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, right now we're a 5, okay? We're just like we're just a little bit worried, but at the same time, we got to think about this. These cars that came to Las Vegas, they were already shipped out before Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Before like this is a West Coast swing. These cars were cars that are old cars they've built before. There's nothing new they can apply to them yet at the racetrack. The cars that are back at the shop are the ones that matter right now. When we go to our East Coast swing, we start going to like tracks like, I'd say when we get back to Charlotte, that's when Chevrolet really has to, by the All-Star race, they need to have.
Oh yeah, that would be the telling
speed.
Race.
I think by the All-Star race, if they don't show speed, it might be a tough year for the new body, and we might have to wait a whole another year before we can see some Chevrolet dominance again.
Okay, so with that said, I want you both to, rate the manufacturers. Let's start with Ford. 1 through 10, just like Chevy. How is Ford doing this year? And I'm not talking about just Kevin Harvick. You got to look at everybody else.
Yeah, the whole group, the collective.
You got Ryan Blaney, 5th. Brad Keselowski, 6th. Joey Logano, 7th. Paul Menard, Eric Almirola rounding out top 10. That's for Vegas.
Yeah, from what I've seen so far, 3 races is not a whole lot to go off of. But I would give them a 9. They're constantly in the top 10. There's always a couple of them in the top 5. They're super fast. If you can get Paul Menard finished in the top 10 in a Ford, you're doing something right. So they're pretty. They're pretty.
Strong. He's not even smiling either.
Right.
Yeah, he's just kind of. It's like DW was saying on Sunday during the race. He just kind of takes it easy, does his thing, and get a good finish.
Right, he does. He's definitely doing good. I give him a 10, man.
You give him
10? We come into the season. We go to Daytona. I expect the Ford to be the dominant car at Daytona. Was the dominant car at Daytona. Didn't win. Was the dominant cars. I think we can all agree on that. And it has been that for a while now. Since 2015, I'd say. Since Junior's last couple wins there, the Fords have dominated. So we knew that was coming. We went to Atlanta. That's kind of a crapshoot. And Fords ran great. And that's like a handling track. And tracking you get suspension and mechanical grip. So, that's impressive. So I give them a 10 there for running how impressive they did there. And then they come to Las Vegas and back it up even more and show even more speed. So I give them a 10 because nobody expected this. Everybody's like, oh, Ford might struggle this year.
Well, yeah, because they were all struggling last year.
Exactly. This new it's got to be this new inspection system. Yeah. It's tightened stuff up, like Brian said, too, here with the splitter. They've changed... They're starting to crack down the splitter stuff that people were doing to the splitters last year. Mm-hmm. And I think Toyota and Chevrolet might have been exploiting that a little bit more than Ford, maybe. So interesting stuff. So I give them a 10.
Now let's go to Toyota. They're not as abundant as the Fords, but they're getting better finishes than Chevy. Kyle Busch finishing 2nd. Martin Truex I feel like he's been flying under the radar. He's not as dominant,
definitely has,
but he's still getting good finishes. He 4th here at Vegas, and then where did he finish at Atlanta? 5th at Atlanta.
Has he won any stages?
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's why he's kind of under the radar right now. He hadn't really won a stage. He hadn't won a race.
So I'd go ahead and give my rating of a 7 to Toyotas. Nothing too bad. Nothing impressive. Not as impressive as last year. But like I said, with the inspection rules, I think that might have tightened it up a little bit. So I give them a 7. They've shown speed, but they haven't shown that, man, we're in trouble speed, you know. So 7. I'd say they're nothing too impressive, not mediocre, just a good way to start the season maybe for them, you know. It's maybe not the best way to start the season, the best, and you know, we'll see. Joe Gibbs didn't start hot last year either, so
okay.
I don't know. 7.
Well, since you were talking about advantages that the teams were, you know, they were taking advantage of the splitter, let's talk about the hot topic of Harvick's rear window. What happened with the window?
So we're looking at the rear window of Harvick's car. If you listen to the audio, if you don't see the pictures that we're putting up, it's deflected. Like the windshield where it says Harvick on the back of these Cup cars, it's like deflected down and bowed.
It's like sucked in.
Yeah, it's very interesting. If you can't see the picture, you might want to look it up on something you have because it's crazy. It's
like the whole
I've never seen it.
Window got punched in.
Yeah.
It's like they took a suction cup to the center of the back window and pulled it back and hooked it to something. It's just it's got this concave
look to it. And it's
curve.
It's really I've never seen nothing like this.
But what's the advantage of that? Why would it be such a big topic? Would it put more air on the spoiler, more rear downforce?
Well, you're going to generate downforce just because you're actually going back to like what F1 has taught me. You're actually as it bows up like that on the rear, you're actually like almost creating like a air fin on the roof of the car, creating downforce. Mm-hmm. But with that also, it's creating vortexes because it's caused us manipulating the air, which will also get it off the rear spool, which is going to help you on the straightaway for drag. So it's helping you in both. It's going to create downforce and it's an efficient downforce. Let's just say that. Like
it's creating downforce without drag.
I don't know if this would be race like this. You couldn't probably do this on a car that's not good and win the race, you know. But I think it might have given him some advantage. I don't know if it's enough to win the race advantage or be a decider in a race.
Oh yeah, because it's not like they were close.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't.
Yeah, it wasn't the difference maker.
I don't see it being a difference maker, but I'm not an aerodynamic specialist either, so I can't tell you exactly what's going on there. I'm just using basic principles of thinking, so it's pretty interesting stuff.
Okay, so Harvick's crew chief.
Of course, what did he say?
Of course, he when they come to him, he says something broke. It was by accident. What do you guys think about that? Do you think he's just making excuses?
No, I think it did break. I think he's telling the truth on that, but the problem is why did it break? Did somebody kind of file that sucker down a little bit? Whatever was holding the center of that in place.
Should we throw this into the conspiracy pile?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Because okay, so maybe he's telling the whole truth. Okay, it broke, and we're never gonna see that again. But if NASCAR decides to investigate it, and take that car and see, figure out which part failed and how it failed, they'll look at whatever part is supposedly to have failed. They're gonna, they'll look and see if it's been tampered with. If it's been tampered with and failed, okay, fine them. If they can't find any tampering, then so be it. And maybe he tampered it in a way that they can't find. But
I believe Wednesday is when penalties come out for NASCAR. So we'll find out tomorrow.
I don't think they're gonna.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Too early
because he went hard with his excuses, and he made sure to provide evidence. summarizing what he says in an appearance on Sirius XM radio, Childers, is what he said is they had a rear window brace fail, and I guess there's a T-bar back there that is super strong, so the brace failed, but the T-bar was still there, and it just held it in place.
Yeah.
And then he brought up like a past incident with Mark Martin in 2012 at Michigan. He said kind of the same thing happened. They had a 2-inch gap from the bottom of the glass to the deck lid when he came in from practice.
Wow.
So
that's a lot of suckage.
And then he, points the finger at NASCAR. He says, I think the biggest thing is getting it fixed and making sure that it doesn't happen again. So.
Yeah, that's pretty textbook.
Well, yeah. But do you think it could have the golf ball effect? Do you know?
Oh, making other teams, you say?
Oh, yeah.
Because you know how like a smooth ball won't go as far as a golf ball with dimples in it? You think it would have the same effect?
Possibly. I mean, that's going. Like I said, I think that'd be a drag reduction more than downforce.
Yeah.
Type thing. So yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to create less of a wake behind.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I wonder if that affected the cars.
It's very interesting. I know that it was pointed out by the 2014 during the race on Radioactive. They actually Alan Gustafson asked Chase Elliott to look at his car. He's like, "Is it bowed out right there in the back of the window?" And Chase Elliott was like, "I think it is actually," and it was. I mean, it's clear as day. Like that's the thing. It's so clear. I don't think that they knew about this, or like Brian said, maybe they made the brace fail. I don't know. I know there's teams that they've been designing these suspensions that'll they can. That's why they don't let them wiggle the cars back and forth anymore, because the suspensions can move all back and forth and stuff. Like
that reminds me of when Brad Keselowski was describing the cars on track. They're basically transformers, is what he was saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned Chase Elliott, so let's talk about
he's the snitch.
Continuing topic of Hendrick struggling.
Yeah.
So, of course, they're a part of Chevy, so they got the new bodies. But, Hendrick is Hendrick. They're supposed to be great. I mean, I've never seen Jimmy Johnson struggle this bad.
Yeah, I was going to say, Chad Knaus is supposed to be great too, but Jimmy Johnson, I think this was the first race he finished in the top 20.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, it's 3
and he only did that because he got a lucky dog. He barely got that.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson looks like the highest finishing Hendrick car in 12th place.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Chase Elliott would have been up there, but Kurt Busch got loose under him, and
Chase Elliott at one point was up to fifth in the race.
Yeah.
He was about a 7th to 8th place car in my opinion. So that was impressive. Second best Chevrolet to Kyle Larson, but I think Chase is carrying the car a little bit right now. So compared to his teammates, so I think we can see that
is falling into the same shoes as Dale Jr. in the later years.
Yep, just disappearing.
I was going to say Casey Kane finished 19th, but Casey Kane's not on their team.
I mean, he's running better than the other Hendrick driver. Yeah. So.
And Chase Elliott, I don't even know where. 34th for him.
Yeah. Unfortunately, got in that wreck near the end of stage 3.
But that was cool of Kurt Busch. He looked honest when he said he.
He definitely lost
and
it.
You look at the replay. A couple times looking at the replay. There's a little wiggle, and he just overcorrected, and it's like DW said, or I think it was Jeff Gordon. He said that if Chase Elliott hadn't have been there, Kurt Busch would have saved that car.
Yeah, he would have saved
enough room.
Just wasn't enough room to save it. Yep.
And that restart kind of screwed up Chase Elliott because his line didn't get a good restart, and he kind of got boxed in. So
welcome to racing.
Unfortunately, yep.
Just one of those deals.
Yeah, it's just a series of events in racing. I think if they can get this car together for Chase, then it looks really good for him at least, because the way he's performing compared to his teammates. Even Alan Gustafson, I know, said he's very proud of how Chase has been. He said almost like I said, carrying this car to positions it doesn't deserve.
Well, yeah, because if he doesn't finish good, that kid's gonna beat himself up.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I mean, if you don't finish first,
on himself. And I feel like he's gonna be another Dale Jr. because he's got the famous father that he's got to live up to for the first couple of years, and hopefully it falls off.
And he's already the most popular driver.
Yeah. But do you think Alex Bowman bounces back at Phoenix? That's his hometown. He did really good in 2016.
Exactly. That was actually key. I was about to bring up. Thank you, Nick. I want to see how he does there. If he doesn't perform well at Phoenix next week, my Alex Bowman stock is suddenly going down because
he's gonna.
I don't know. I thought he had the speed to perform with Chase. I thought he could give Chase a little bit of run for his money because he's got that younger quickness. But I hadn't shown you. I don't know if it's the team. I don't know if it's the team. I think Alec Gustafson has a lot to do with it.
That's what I was thinking.
He's a great crew chief, I think. So
because Alex Bowman is finishing exactly like Dale Jr.
Yep, I was about to say, just the 88 team is just kind of.
Do you think it's
garbage?
Crew chief?
No, it's not crew chief because Alan Gustafson was on the 24 car. He used to be on the 24 car, and he was on the 5 car.
Thing. He was William Byron. Where is he?
Well, he's learning. Yeah. I think we need to give him a pass because I don't think he was ready this year. I think it's just time that it was. It was time for someone new to step in, and it's almost better for him to learn here than waste a year in Xfinity racing Joe Blow. So.
Oh yeah. If you can get a ride in the Cup car, if you have that opportunity, and it's kind of like a no pressure opportunity, take it.
Definitely.
Nobody's. Obviously being a Hendrick car, you're gonna have some expectations. I'm sure Rick Hendrick has, told the guy, hey, we kind of by the end of the season wants to see you at a certain level, but he'll be all right. He'll be all right.
This is the thing I think they want him to do this year. They want him the second time he goes back to a racetrack to do a little bit better. I think that's really all is needed. It's not. He doesn't need to show us anything this year. I mean, he can show us something, but he don't need to show us a win, in my opinion.
It'd be cool if he gets it, but if he doesn't, no one's gonna be mad.
And I still think he's gonna heat up at some point this season and get a hang of it.
Well, maybe he's like a half in the back half of the season. Maybe he'll be better.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, and just look at Kyle Busch's years with Hendrick. Like it was nothing special at all, and then
goes to Joe.
Either something clicked with him during that offseason with Joe Gibbs.
He showed talent though. He showed amazing speed in that 5 car a lot of times.
But
it wasn't consistent as he did when he got in 18. But I think it's because he became the number 1 driver at Joe Gibbs. He became Tony Stewart of Joe Gibbs. So I think he took that reign. But like you said, get a little off topic. But what do y'all think about Jimmy Johnson? Like what's his game plan?
I think he's on a downward slide. But, Jimmy Johnson, just like we think William Byron, I think he's a back half of the season guy, too. He comes back summertime.
I think it's better that Jimmy starts the season bad because if you notice, Jimmy's bad seasons, he always starts hot, gets that slump, and never comes back. He needs to have this slump early. He needs to struggle early. They need to learn this car. Chad Canals ain't dumb. You don't win 7 championships.
He's struggling with this new car, though.
And and trust me, they said they hate losing more than they love winning. So they're working their butts off. They're going.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was Chad Canals' quote to everybody. He said, "Look, we don't like winning as much as we hate losing." So it's something on the plate. We're gonna be back.
I know, Chad Canals is having nightmares about that Camaro. All the numbers and just the suspension
just
telemetry.
Thinking,
I know he's having
if I do this
about it.
Definitely, I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, as far as Jimmy Johnson goes, he had 2 nice saves on Sunday, so it's not his driving.
That's the highlight of his season.
Yeah.
So far, yeah. Man, he had 2 nice saves. That car was trash, but he had 2 nice saves.
Okay. And he brought the 12th. He brought the 12th to start from the rear.
Definitely. He's a fighter. Yeah.
Yep.
So we got all these veterans doing good, and we got Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch finishing up there. Let's talk about rookies. So we already talked about William Byron, but the other rookie is Darrell Wallace Jr., and I think he's been a little quiet lately.
20s,
he's mid-pack.
Yeah, but we do have to take into account he's also in a Chevrolet. Nobody in Chevrolet's running good. he is running better than some of the RCR guys. So,
that's double trouble right there.
He's doing what he needs to do right now. He needs to learn.
Well, he finished 32nd last week too in Atlanta.
Yeah,
he got wrecked though.
Yeah, he got caught up in that caution or that Trevor Bain smoke show. So
yeah, couldn't see, and a spotter didn't help him.
Okay, Brian.
Yeah, Mr. I can see through smoke spotter. Brian's my spotter because he can see through smoke, guys.
All you need is
turn down the graphics so that smoke doesn't exist.
yeah.
No, you just need some heat-seeking goggles.
Okay, when you design them, we'll get them.
They have them. It's called an infrared camera.
I know.
Well, yeah, you get one of those. You look through one of them, and because the engines are so hot, you just see like little orange squares. It's like, okay, that's where the engine is. Now, you couldn't tell which car is yours, but...
And then you see an engine with inside an engine inception.
That, my people, is Brian's imagination. Brought to you by Halford and Son Podcast. But
okay,
yeah.
So you think
Bubba's
rookies are just learning?
Learning period.
Yeah. Well, and the thing with Bubba Wallace Jr. is that, well, not even just him. So, it's his first year. Okay, there's ding 1, rookie. Ding 2 is that you're in a Chevy. Ding 3 is that you switch from Ford to Chevy. Yeah. So not only did they switch to a new car, they switched manufacturers, everything.
Upgrade. Switch back.
Yeah, it's just like that's 3 huge dings right there, and there's no telling what else has happened behind the scenes.
True.
But Richard Petty's not dumb. He didn't get this far to, lose a few years before he dies. So.
Yeah. Jesus.
He's 80 something. So.
I know. What? I thought he was like 70.
No.
83.
He's like 86 or 87.
I'm gonna look it up. But how about we move on to the point standings? We were talking about it earlier a little bit.
Yeah, well, I got confused.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, actually,
Kevin Harvick leading.
Kevin Harvick leads the points.
Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex, and Kyle Busch top 5. Then you got Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, Paul Menard, and Austin Dillon top 10. Those are names that you never see in the top 10 points.
Yeah. Paul Menard? Who?
You got Kevin Harvick, usual. Joey Logano, usual. Martin Truex, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski. I guess it is. But there's Austin Dillon, Paul Menard. Who are these people? Getting consistent runs.
2 guys.
Paul Menard hasn't been relevant since he won the Brickyard 400 years ago.
400 years.
He's only got 2 top 10s, and that's it. That's all he really has.
Yeah.
Hey, I bet you if it keeps going like it is, which eventually the Chevys will catch up and it'll be a bit harder, but if that team can keep up with everybody else, I bet you he'll make it to the second to last round of playoffs. He'll be in the final 8.
Paul Menard?
I don't think he's going to go that far, though.
Paul Menard?
Oh, my God, he is 80. Richard Petty is 80 years old.
Oh, he's 80? Okay, he's not as old as I thought he was.
July 2nd, 1937.
Did you say Paul Menard in the final 8, Brian?
Yeah, final 8.
Whew, that's bold. I would say in the final 16, not in the final 8. I would say final 12.
He's saying he's just going to get in on consistency because what you've seen the last few years is you can have the best driver, but that driver has a bad race,
Mm-hmm.
True.
They don't win.
Yeah, he don't push it to the limit either,
Or if you make
he only drives at 100%.
If you make enemies like Joey Logano, people make sure you don't make it.
Exactly. So, that's another thing, but he's quiet. He just minds his own business. That's the best way to get a good finish.
He is the fly on the wall of NASCAR. He probably knows things that most don't. We need to get...
He probably has more common sense than everybody else.
That is now my goal of this podcast. We need to get an interview with Paul Menard.
Go.
And ask him.
By the end of the year, Paul Menard will be a special guest on the Halford and Son Podcast.
If somebody out there can set that up, or somebody knows somebody,
or at least
that'd be cool.
At some point, he will talk to us this year. If it takes Twitter or something, we'll get in contact with Paul Menard and give you the inside details of Paul Menard's life.
Oh yeah,
Paul Menard does. I don't know.
Well, I thought he was kind of like a Carl Edwards and just.
I know, sure he could
just,
be. Well,
if,
he's not
if he
born
stops
maybe.
racing, he disappears completely.
We'll tweet his family, Menards. They have to have a
Yeah,
account.
but they don't sponsor him no more though.
True, but they sponsor Penske. They do sponsor him actually. He drove a Menards car.
I thought it was Ryan Blaney that drives a Menards.
They both do. They both have a Menards car.
Oh, they both do.
Yeah, they both have a yellow car.
Okay. That's right. Penske and Wood Brothers work together. Okay.
Yep.
So let's look at Ryan Blaney. 1 top 5, 2 top 10s. Overall consistent is what I see.
Yep.
I think Daytona is the only place where he finished outside the top 10. Only because, he had damage from Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch seems to be wrecking people, taking them with him.
Right. Well, Ryan said he wrecked him, so.
Yeah.
But we'll just go.
I feel more sorry for Kurt Busch.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no. When I saw that video, it looked like Kurt Busch went up high in the turn and came back down. So I think that's his fault. But, then you got Austin Dillon. Of course, he's got the 1 win, so he's automatically in the playoffs as of right now.
It was a fluke.
Yeah. 1 top 5, 1 top 10. So that win that's the best he's got is Daytona. So I don't see him making it very far.
I mean, unless because if you do well at the 4 plate tracks, because if you can survive all 4 plate tracks, get a top 5 in those, chances are the other guys that you're racing for points against are going to get wrecked. That's their best chance to get wrecked at.
So staying out of danger.
Yeah, so if he can do what he did in Daytona 500 at the other 3 plate races, then he's got a good shot. But I think that's his only shot is plate races.
All right.
But that's anybody's shot.
So let's jump into a little more NASCAR news. Something a little less about the race and more about, what's coming up. We got D Burrito or Benedetto.
D Burrito.
This guy goes to Twitter, posts a video basically saying, my car is unsponsored for next week. It's an advertisement,
I need some
Be my sponsor. If we need money for the next week for Go Fast Racing. And, we already know Matt DiBenedetto is big on Twitter. He's pretty funny.
Big social media.
I gambled it all in Las Vegas.
Probably did.
Well, actually, they had the sponsor kind of backed out on them, so it's kind of a huge that's why a lot of people are trying to help. I don't know what sponsor was. I'm unsure. Do you know, Nick? I'm unsure. I forgot to even look into that. Which sponsor
that's the important question.
He wasn't important enough.
Yeah, but I think that's why some people out of the good of their heart came and helped them. And who would that be, Nick? Do you know who?
Oh, geez. I wonder who has a lot of hate against him and would want a little redemption.
We don't speak his name here.
Starts
Adderall addict.
Mr. Denny Hamlin.
He's trying to do something good for once in a while. He's trying to
he's trying to make some friends.
Yeah, he's trying to get karma back
on his side.
He'll never get that karma that he lost at Martinsville.
Oh, Kappa, I think, is the sponsor. It was Kappa something?
Kappa?
Because I'm looking at the picture of his car.
That's a Twitch thing.
Yeah. It's also a university. It's a...
Kappa University?
I'm looking. Okay, Brian.
Or Kaplan?
Sounds like a frat.
What car did he drive last week?
Kappa University. I think K&M, right? K&M?
I think so. What's his name? Matt DiBenedetto.
I have no clue. Matt, that tells you how much we know about Matt DiBurrito. We need to do social media research now.
Yeah.
But
maybe we can tweet him and ask him who his sponsor was.
Brian's on
it. We also had Kevin Harvick donate to their sponsorship fund,
he's got money to just give away right now.
Well, was it Kevin Harvick or was it Delana?
It was Kevin.
Well, we know Delana wears the pants in the family. Joey Logano pointed that out at Pocono.
Joey Logano don't point nothing out, okay?
Yeah, he's cross-eyed.
He's smiling too much, okay?
Yeah, that's why he's
serial killer.
He can't see because he smiles too much.
Serial killer.
Yeah, I think that too. But
his lip muscles go back to his ears.
It isn't as bad as Jeffrey Earnhardt when he does an interview. It seems like he just got to murder somebody.
Okay, so I'll look into the Benedetto, see what his sponsor was. How about you talk about our upcoming NASCAR Hall of Fame nominees?
All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
So every year NASCAR nominates 5 I don't want to say drivers, 5 people for the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
5 NASCAR associates.
Yeah, some way affiliated with NASCAR. And every year they bring in 5 new nominees, and excuse me. So we have 5. Yeah, we have 5 nominees, and every year there's 5 people inducted into the Hall of Fame. But there's more nominees that are waiting when 5 get introduced every year. So there's about 10 or 15 more people on this list. But this is just the 5 added. As of today, around 1 o'clock, this was announced. So this is
once you get nominated, you're on the ballot for...
Yeah, then you become on the ballot, pretty much.
Whenever.
Yeah, you stay on there till you get inducted. So let's go through some of these drivers here and also owners. So
save the best one for last.
Okay, well, that's actually the first one, but sorry, they've already seen it on the phone.
Oh no!
Well,
there it is.
You should have told me before the podcast, guys. See, there's Brian Johnson's playing. Let's give him a round of applause.
Yeah, my planning skills, last minute.
So, first driver is Jeff Gordon. No explanation needed there for anybody why he's nominee. 93 wins, 4 Cup championships, endless skill. So, we'll continue on from Jeff Gordon. We don't need to discuss Jeff Gordon's career.
And a great career in broadcasting so far.
True, and he'll have broadcasting
a long way with that.
Yep, and I mean ownership too. We got to think about ownership of cars. He's owned part of Jimmy Johnson's car, so that is ownership.
Yeah, does he still own that?
Yeah, he's not primary owner though.
He's not primary, but he's still owner.
No, probably not anymore.
Next, we have Mr. September, Harry Gant, 18-time Cup Series winner and 21 Xfinity Series wins to go along with that.
So he drove the Skull car, didn't he?
Yes, he did. The Smoking the Bandit car also.
Get your chew.
He got the nickname Mr. September for through the month of September in 1991. He won 4 consecutive Cup races and also 2 Xfinity races. So 6 races in a month he won in a row.
Crazy.
So, pretty. That's why they called him Mr. September. So he's always been known in the racing community.
Tony Stewart kind of took over that nickname for a little bit, didn't he?
Mr. September.
Yeah, he was,
he was
more of the summer though. He was more summer.
Well, no, remember his chase at the end. Remember he was terrible. He barely made the chase.
5 out of 10 of them.
Yeah.
As for D Burrito, I believe it's Can-Am.
Can-Am? Okay, so it was Can-Am that pulled out. Wow. Yeah.
Really?
It's a four-wheeler company, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm looking at his car right now, and right on the hood it says Can-Am.
Yep.
And then I'm pretty sure that's a university on the quarter panel.
Oh, okay. So let's go into the next.
Wow.
Oh, yep. Let's go into the next nominee. His name is John Holman. This man right here is the mastermind salesman.
He's not a half man. He's a whole man.
He's pretty much the mastermind and salesman, and business manager of the famed Holman and Moody racing team. This team included drivers such as famous drivers and legends such as Fred Lorenzen, Mario Andretti, David Pearson, Bobby Allison, Fireball Roberts. This man had a lot of great drivers come through his race team. He was able to win 2 Cup Series championships with David Pearson. Yes, David Pearson it was. And they were consecutive also, so that's pretty cool. He won the 1967 Daytona 500 with Mario Andretti. I thought that was pretty notable. That's pretty cool. Have Mario Andretti come and drive your car and win the Daytona 500. He wasn't the only person in Holman and Moody racing. As you see, there's a Moody part into the Holman and Moody racing. And that man would be Ralph Moody. He is also a nominee in this year's Hall of Fame induction. And he was pretty much your technical brains. He knew all the mechanical stuff. He was also a driver, like, before he got into this team. And he had a lot of funds. He funded a lot of the teams money behind the team. So super successful guy. Had a lot of success with a lot of drivers, and their team was super successful. So they definitely deserved this. And we got one more person, and he was a crew chief, and his name was Kirk. All right, everybody, hold on to your seats. Shelmerdine. There we go.
Shelmerdine.
Yeah, Kirk Shelmerdine. He had Shelmerdine. Actually, I think that's what it was. I think it was Shelmerdine.
Oh, Shelmerdine.
That
sounds more.
Yeah. And he had a 16-year career crew chiefing with Dale Earnhardt Sr., Ricky Rudd, right? James Hilton, and Richard Childress. So had a long career, 46 wins, I believe, in that career, and also 4 championships, all with Dale Earnhardt Sr. Really good crew chief. So he's going also into the Hall of Fame inductions, nominees.
Yeah.
For being inducted.
Is he involved in any racing anymore, or is he just kind of falling off the radar?
I haven't looked into that. Yeah, okay. I just
he's probably just falling off the radar.
Yeah, I think he's retired and he's just done racing. Yeah. He seemed pretty young. I mean, some of the pictures.
Yeah, he looks pretty. So. Yeah.
It says he lives in Welcome, North Carolina, and is a father of 2 children.
Oh yeah, that's over by Charlotte somewhere, I think.
Yep, that's right where that's where Austin Dillon's born.
If you Google like top 20 weird names of towns in North Carolina, you'll come up with some
crazy names.
Well, we got some crazy towns around here.
Yeah, he actually drove cars too.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, drove cars before they become crew chiefs. Like
back in the day, you had to do everything.
What's wrong with the car? I don't know. I can't explain it. Okay, let me take it first.
That's what Ray Abraham was. He was a modified driver. Yeah. He's like, hey, why go to stock car? He
betrayed Rick Hendrick.
No, he didn't.
He says, "Screw you guys! I'm gonna make my own team with blackjack and hookers."
Oh my god!
Oh my god! We can see Brian's bias to Hendrick here, guys. But so of these 5 people, guys, I just want to ask you all this: is anybody here first ballot Hall of Famer?
What do you think? By
that means these drivers, which one of them or which of these people will be the first one to go into the Hall of Fame? Will they go in this first time? Will there be anybody, or will they have to wait years?
Well, I don't know if Zach's a little biased. But judging by the notes right here, with the parentheses that say no,
we don't do
no explanation
this is not scripted.
Needed. I'm gonna say Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, it's not like we have the number 24 on the picture in the video here for the live stream right now.
Well, that's for Chase Elliott.
I'm gonna say Southern fan now, but I think everybody can agree here. Jeff Gordon's the first ballot Hall of Famer.
I mean, I do have
he's one of the top
Jeff
5
Gordon flag drivers hanging up in my room right now.
He's definitely the popular one too. So, because I've heard of Harry Gant, but I've never heard of the other 3.
But you also got to think about Zach, list off the what are the other guys from ballots before?
Okay, yeah. Here, y'all go ahead and discuss
because there are a couple there that I think may beat them out just because they've been on there longer.
Yeah. I feel what you're saying. Definitely. Let's see here. Here's the nominees for 2019. Okay, of those 5 I've already named, these are the guys that are left. Davey Allison, Buddy Baker, Red Farmer, Ray Fox, Joe Gibbs, Harry Hyde, Alan Kwiecki, Bobby Labonte, Herschel McGriff, Roger Penske, Larry Phillips, Jack Rouse, Ricky Rudd, Mike Stefank, Waddell Wilson.
Every time I hear Bobby Labonte, I just get this image in my head of this guy in his late 40s, and he's got those sunglasses that look like they're rubber and they've been stretched back really far, and he's got his hand on his hips, and he's like, "I'm gonna teach these boys a lesson." That's just
totally him, though.
That's what I get. And
I like his
he's
name.
in the interstate, and then he's in the green and white interstate suit. That's all I remember about Bobby Labonte.
Yeah.
But he won a championship.
Him and Terry were cool.
I think this is who I almost say goes in this year personally. You're going to have Joe Gibbs, Roger Penske, Alan Kulwicki, Davey Allison, and Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, so 5 people get in?
5 people go in.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
It's hard for me not to put Red Farmer in there. I don't know if y'all know who Red Farmer is. He's like a late model. He's done late models, modifieds.
It's Brian. You mean Brian when he comes out after a long day in the sun?
Oh,
with his farmer tan? Yeah. Well, just to put aside, like we don't have to add anything to Red Farmer, but he has somewhere north of 700 wins in his career. So
yeah, it's a stupid amount. It's a stupid amount.
And he's like part of the Alabama gang, which was like Bobby Allison, Davey Allison,
Farmer,
all the Allisons. So
Red Farmer, was that his actual name?
Red Farmer is his actual name.
That's on his birth certificate.
That is on his birth certificate, sir.
Redolfo.
Redolfo Farmer?
Redolfo.
Well, let me see if that's his
Reddert Farmer. I don't know.
Charles was his name.
Charles.
Okay, that's better.
Charles Red Farmer.
Charles?
His middle name was Red.
Red.
Yep. He was born Charles Red Farmer.
I don't know what we should give. He needs a middle name. What could his middle name be? Well, this balloon right here is red.
Oh, yeah. He was also a passenger in the helicopter that Davey Allison died in.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, well,
the
now
crash.
I feel bad.
Yeah. And he survived.
He didn't die. He lived.
Okay, I don't feel as bad.
He died. He's still alive, actually.
Really? How old is he?
He farmed
born in 1932. Let's just say that.
So he's a little bit older than Richard Petty.
Yeah.
I think Richard Petty was 38 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 38 actually.
But yeah,
man,
those are my
guess.
picks to go into the Hall of Fame this year. So
yeah, I agree. Those were the people I was gonna say.
Yeah,
I don't know all of them, but they sound like they would win a popular.
Although Roger Penske, I feel like maybe he shouldn't be necessarily in the NASCAR Hall of Fame, but if there's like a Motorsport Hall of Fame, because he's just like he's into everything. But yeah, definitely. I mean,
I think he invests enough now that he deserves. I mean, Penske's a huge name, so like
he's got that rental truck company.
I believe it
is.
I drive a Penske truck for work.
I believe it is the same. I'm not sure, but I believe.
I always wondered, but I never bothered to look it up.
Yeah. But
2018, I literally have all the knowledge of humanity in my hand. I don't bother to look it up.
That's for
internet,
sure.
Because it takes time and we're lazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that's all for NASCAR today. You guys got anything to add? Anything summarize?
No, talk about Phoenix. What do y'all think about Phoenix? Gives me some good racing.
I think that's gonna be where the bodies won't matter and it's all about chassis.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and this is the last race there in this configuration.
Yep. That was
after this race.
They changed the line.
Yep.
Okay.
IMS is going to work after this race.
So when they come back in the playoff race, it'll be very interesting.
Yeah, so they moved the start finish line before the dog leg, right before it.
Yep.
And
coming out of 2.
Yeah,
imagine if it were after. Oh my god!
Now it's gonna be coming out of 4. Lol.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're going to change. Oh,
well, they'll be
turn 1. No, I'm not.
Yeah, 1 and 2 turns into 3 and 4, and 3 and 4 turn into 1 and 2, or 2 and.
Oh, yeah, they start doing what Pocono does.
Who wins?
Which one? Which turn 2? Who wins?
Who wins next week?
I'm gonna say. I don't. Brian, you go first.
If it's not Kyle Larson, it'll be Kevin Harvick.
You think Kevin Harvick's gonna win again?
Yeah, he's gonna have that 3-peat, man. He's never done it. He loves Phoenix. He's on a roll right now. They're unbeatable.
I would say Kevin Harvick too.
I'm gonna go.
You go.
I thought you were.
Especially if that part fails again.
No, it won't matter as much. I'm gonna say Brad Keselowski. Oh no! I'm gonna go Joey Logano.
Ooh.
Oh, he's getting brownie points for that one.
Yeah, right now, so it doesn't matter.
inside joke. Let's see.
His fiance is a Joey Logano fan.
Okay. Brian told everybody now it's an outside joke.
I told the word. World.
I pick Kyle Busch to win the Phoenix.
See, his pick is worse than mine.
It is.
No, it's not.
It's like 80% of NASCAR hates Joey Logano, but 98% hates Kyle Busch.
No, Joey Logano's more hated Kyle Busch. I can tell
That's
you
178%.
Go to Martinsville.
They were separate statistics, Brian.
Yeah, they're separate. Yeah. Go to Martinsville. Trust me, Joey Logano's.
That's Martinsville, because that's where it happened.
His pick punched your pick in the nose.
Yeah, exactly.
Who was
My
bleeding?
punch is going to beat him.
No.
Kyle Busch was bleeding.
That's no fair though. You got like NFL players killing me and stuff.
What?
Yeah,
he's talking about the pit crews.
They're like freaking NFL players, man. They're freaking college football players. That's where they get
that just shows that your driver goes in to make stupid decisions.
No, your driver wrecks my driver. So just like somebody.
Hey Zach, remember when you wrecked me at Phoenix?
I know.
Hey, my pick actually on both y'all picks.
Well, guess what, Brian? My pick school wins, so that's all that matters.
Okay.
We will see.
Moving on, but before we do that, I just want to, give a shout out. Make sure you stop by and check out our Facebook page. We've been doing a lot of work on it. Mostly me. Just kidding. All of us.
That's true.
Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube page if you'd like.
Yes.
Just go ahead on Facebook, search for Halford and Son. Just use the @ symbol and Halford and Son, all one word, and you'll just come up right to us. But, we appreciate every like, every share. It'd be really nice to get out there to everyone. Hopefully, we can spread our word, our seed.
Make sure to drop a like on the video, please. And that's NASCAR, I think, for this week, isn't it?
Yeah, that's NASCAR.
Yeah,
that's NASCAR. We had some other big news this week, though. Not in the real racing world, but
before you get to that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
we got some stock cars from down under.
Oh. Yeah, Chris, I asked Facebook, say, tell us something you want us to talk about, and Christopher Matthews told us that he wants us to talk about the V8 supercars, and I was like, yeah, of course. Dude, well, Chris is all
sick. I love
about road course cars, and V8
supercars likes to turn right.
Are crazy. Yeah. These are just opposite of NASCAR.
They're down under, so that's why they turn right.
They spell their tires with Y's and they turn right. And
well, yeah, I can't get over that still. Why do y'all spell your tire with a Y?
Everybody does except for
because they use oh shoot, they don't use PSI, they use bar.
Yeah. They raise the bar.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, so but when you come to road and down under, I got some comparisons here. Okay. So NASCAR, their engine, 5.7 liter V8. And the V8 supercars, a little bit smaller, 5 liter, just 5 liters V8. So I don't know how much that matters, Mr. Engine Guy.
Less torque. Well, it all depends on the bore size and the stroke size. But Mustang for a long time had that 5.0 liter engine in their vehicle, and people still bought them and souped them up and stuff. And Chevy was running the 5.7. So you're talking about almost a whole liter difference, but you can get the same power out of a 5.0 that you can get out of 5.7. You just have to work a little harder for it.
Okay. So that's your engine, brought to you by Brian Johnson.
That's the very, very basics.
I know you could go all day.
I could.
He has before.
He does.
Okay, so that in turn leads into horsepower. NASCAR 800 horsepower. I'm pretty sure these are a little outdated facts, but it's just the only comparison thing I could find.
Yeah, I think they're anywhere between 800 and 850. It varies between the tracks,
And then you got the V8's got 635 horsepower. The Cup car NASCAR weighs that says 1,500 kilograms, and the V8s are 1,400 kilograms. NASCAR has a smaller wheel. They have 15-inch wheels, while the V8s have 18-inch.
18-inch wheels?
Yeah.
Rims.
Holy cow.
Yeah, rims.
And then their tires, good. Oh, even the tires. NASCAR has 11.5-inch Goodyears, and you got V8s with 12-inch. I mean, half an inch, but
Is that width?
half an inch matters, if you know what I mean.
Oh no!
Oh yeah.
And then
Bobby out there said that the 5.0 liter is a 305 cubic inch V8. 5.7 would be 350 cubic inches. So.
Yep, 350.
Yeah.
The 305.
45 cubic inches.
I can hear Pitbull in the distance. Mr. 305.
It just pops his head in the window.
Golly. So then we got top speed. NASCAR, see, they got this in kilometers per hour, so I converted it. You're welcome. 322 kilometers per hour for NASCAR. That's 200 miles per hour. Obviously, you know, we got the plate tracks. It's not the fastest they've gone, but
it's probably like an average top speed.
Yeah, around the average. And then we got 298 kilometers per hour in the V8, and that's about 185 miles per hour. So they're still fast. They're just not.
That's all they need to go, though.
But another major difference is NASCAR's 4-speed manual with reverse. But V8s are 6-speed sequential. So they just go forward and backwards. That's it. They don't go left and right.
But they do go left and right.
I know, Brian. I'm
talking.
That's
why they have the sequential gearbox.
God, did you imagine? So they have this in centimeters, but the length of the cars, the stock car in America is actually, what is that, about 30 centimeters longer than the V8 supercar at 518 centimeters. So I'll do a conversion of that. But then you got the width is 191 centimeters. So they're about the same width with the V8 at 188 centimeters. So it's a little bit longer.
A little bit smaller car.
Yeah. It's a little bit shorter, a little bit thinner. And it's down under.
But it performs well.
Yeah, it's 17 feet. No, it's not. That's no.
I was about to say, ain't driving no limos.
A long car.
The NASCAR limo series.
I read that. Oh, what? Okay, never mind. I don't know.
I'm gonna petition for that now.
A 17-foot limo series.
Yeah.
So the V8 supercar, it's not much different. Has a lot less power, but from pictures of it, you can see that it's got a bigger wing. It's got a wing.
Well, yeah, it has a wing.
Splitter's different. It looks more stock than anything. Like even more stock than a stock car.
The body, well, because stock cars aren't stock anymore. You put a well, especially now, you put a Minx. That's what they're calling it now? The Minx, Monster Energy NASCAR.
Oh, the Minx.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Minx, whatever it is. You put one of those Camaros beside a Camaro you get from the lot, they're nothing alike. Now the Holdens and the Fords and the V8 supercars in Australia. Yeah, exactly. I wish NASCAR would get back to that, but they never will. Which is what I enjoy looking at the V8 supercars just because it's like, hey, I could buy one of those.
Yeah,
they're fun to drive on iRace.
Yeah.
But so that leads into our next thing, and as usual, Brian is gonna take over.
Oh man, it's okay. I won't slam him this week.
Except don't get rusted on the forms, Mr. iRacing expert.
No, I learned my lesson. I did. I needed some milk after that one.
Let's get into some iRacing. Talk about that a little bit. What's new, Brian?
Oh man, well, the big news for the past probably 2-3 months has been these LMP1s. Let me tell you, got the Porsche. I took it around lemons,
Oh.
a little bit.
Lemons.
It's weird. It feels like it can stick to anything, but it doesn't. It doesn't. Because I was going through the chicanes, and entry of the chicane, it was nice, and then the exit, I pushed a bit too hard. And again, that's probably the setup, because I'm kind of comparing it to how we had the HPD last year for Le Mans, and that was, that's a setup. This was baseline, but even still, like, I mean, it's stuck fantastic. It's going to be quite a bitch to set up.
Yeah.
There are so many numbers, so many little tickers you can tick up and down. It's incredibly complex, but as it should be. And I think you'll find this car is going to be, because a lot of the cars on iRacing, everybody likes them different. Everybody's gonna say, "Oh, this setup's the best one. Oh, this setup's the best one." Well, with this one, you're definitely gonna find that there's gonna be several different theories on what things should and shouldn't be. But it's a great car. It feels great. It has a lot of power. The turbo on it sounds really good. Yeah, like that. But you can't see out of it. You can't see. This is iRacing's.
That was the gap in my teeth.
All right, Michael Strahan.
Continue.
iRacing's worst visual as peripheral car.
You can't see nothing.
You can't see anything.
No.
Well, yeah, that's not due to. But as far as the visibility out of the cockpit level in iRacing with the IndyCar, oh yeah, they had a new IndyCar. Woo. With the IndyCar and the the McLaren and the Williams having the most visibility, obviously, this one has the worst one.
The least, yeah.
The least. I think, Zach, you told, as far as we have the Porsche 919.
Yep.
And we have the Audi Super Dinero A Quattro 427 SpaceX. Yeah.
It's the E Quattro.
E Quattro.
What language?
Audi is German.
It's German.
But Quattro
is Spanish for 4.
Yeah, okay. But Audi is actually Latin.
Yeah, we got a
sound.
We got a question in the chat. It says, it's from Bobby, guys. It says, trying to decide which one to buy, Porsche or Audi. Porsche.
Well, yeah, this is what I was actually getting to. Yeah, Zach, you told me that stat about the megajoules for the electric motors of the Porsche and the Audi. So it was the Porsche that has 8 megajoules of power.
Yeah, per lap.
And the Audi that has 6 megajoules of power. Yeah. And the way they compensate for those 2 megajoules is that Audi is allowed to carry more fuel in the car.
No, not more fuel in the car. A higher fuel flow.
Oh, higher fuel flow.
Because that's, you got to think, when they're doing hybrid systems, they're regulating how much fuel can flow through the car at a time.
They got a bigger hose.
Okay.
They
got a bigger hose, and Porsche has bigger joules.
Pretty much, they can use more of the internal. They're basically using more internal combustion than Porsche. Yep. Porsche is focusing more on recovering energy, and Audi is also. Yeah, it's also a diesel car, which is pretty cool. It sounds way different than Porsche. In my opinion, I hate the way that sounds. But under braking, I think the Audi actually sounds pretty cool because the way the Audi actually recovers its energy is through the flywheel, so it makes this really weird winding noise. I don't know, it's
winding like a
I can't even replicate it without
But what's it sound like most similar to?
Almost like a turbine spinning, spinning down, almost slowing down like a turbine, like a motor slowing down. I don't know, some weird. You could definitely tell it's something there, fighting the engine braking to get the energy out of it. Like, I mean, the Porsche does the same thing. It does also engine brake gather energy, but it also gets energy through MGUH.
Yep,
through the turbo.
The heat from the So that's that's really good. That's why
it can have more megajoules too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, between the more megajoules, the ability to
also the Porsche is a 4-cylinder. I don't know. I think the Audi's a 6-cylinder.
I believe so. Yeah,
a 6-cylinder diesel.
But yeah, between the higher megajoules on the Porsche, the ability to regen that electricity under braking and down the straight.
Yeah.
So that's why I went with the Porsche.
The visibility out the Audi is better. You do get better visibility out the Audi. So if you look for a car you want to see, you don't really care about the speed. I mean, personally, if you're good enough, you're going to be able to drive through the speed of the car, because Audi does compete with Porsche at other tracks. It's just, I'm really focusing on Porsche personally, that's my opinion, because at Le Mans, Audi's even limited even more because of how long straights are. So I think, and Porsche has won the last 24 hours of Le Mans in real life. So
going by real life stats.
Yeah, the Porsche should be the faster car in terms of real life. So, I mean, they both look pretty close, similar in real life. They sound. I also do like the steering wheel on the Porsche better, the hybrid steering and stuff, because like on the Audi, it's like boxes I've seen, and it just doesn't. It's like boxes, yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't seen the Audi yet.
It's
weird.
I have the Porsche weird looking. Yeah. The Porsche is way better. It's got bars that actually tell you the hybrid power.
Well, and what I like about the Porsche, it may be with the Audi too, but I noticed that if you go to the in-car control black box at the very bottom, you can choose what is on the screen, kind of like you can do in the
exactly.
cars. You can change the page, which is pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
Even though it already has so much information.
Yeah, I'm really excited about these cars. I really, unfortunately, am strapped for the funds to get the car right now. I mean, people be like, "Wow, you can't pay $10 for a car." Well, you're gonna go to a NASCAR race, so
start a GoFundMe for Zach.
Yeah, GoFundMe guys for my.
We need to buy him a race car.
I have $4 on my Steam account.
Go on Twitter.
Yeah, I'll hit up Dean Hamlin. Don't worry, he'll give it to me.
Danny D got $10. Nah, he spent it on Adderall.
Oh man,
burn. But yeah, like I said, I'm excited for these cars. I know it's gonna be a nightmare building a setup for Le Mans, so I kind of want to get on that as soon as I possibly can and start breaking it down. I know it's gonna be some long nights of hating this thing, but hopefully it ends up in a lovely relationship and a 24 hours Le Mans victory for Category 5.
I took this car to Talladega. I was gonna see, okay, let's see what kind of top speed I can get out of it. Well, since the MGUK, the electrical unit motor, it burnt up so much energy on acceleration that by the time I got to the top speed, it didn't have anything left. And because it regens primarily under braking, at Talladega, you're not braking. So I was kind of without that power at the top end, but I did under light fuel. I stuck the car as low to the ground as I could, got rid of all the downforce I knew how to get rid of. And I did manage to get a top speed of 217 out of it.
That's crazy.
Of course, going through the corners.
That's just a 4-cylinder. That's just a 4-cylinder too, by the way.
Yeah. But, turbocharged and running 211,000 octane. But,
okay. So
before I did that, I decided I was going to test out this new dirt cushion that they've come out with.
Did you run 1,000 laps?
I was going to, but then I ran out of fuel on lap 28. But it was I ran those 28 laps primarily in the middle of the corner. I'm getting kind of ahead of myself here. I tested out the dirt cushion at one of the new dirt tracks that I absolutely love, the dirt track at Charlotte. And they did a really, 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 really good job with it too. You're riding around the track. I believe it's going into turn 1. You can see Lowe's Motor Speedway off to kind of straight ahead of you, and then kind of exiting turn 2. If you look to your right, there's like this big hill of dirt where just like construction has been happening, and that's actually there. That hill is there, and so surroundings are very accurate. And as you go into turn 3 and coming out of turn 4 at that end of the track, you can actually see the Z-Max Dragway over there, which is
Drag
cool.
racing is next in development.
See, that's what I in the back of my mind, I was like, and it's not just like a picture, like a flat thing. Like the thing's rendered out.
Yeah.
Like they spent
So
some
it
time.
is
They
in the
took
works.
some pictures of that John Force grandstands over there. So it's like, oh man, it's gonna be different territory for them whenever they do it, if they do it. But oh my,
when they do drag racing, we won't see Brian for a year.
nope.
He'll be like, my top fuel cars is
I will
ridiculous. I rebuilt in 10 minutes.
retire from oval racing. I was like,
he's like, I just go in straight lines. I just hit the trees all the time. I'm in the Christmas tree all the time.
He's addicted to those lines.
Yeah.
So Brian, tell us, is the cushion good for the pushing?
Well, I because I wanted to test the LMP1. I wanted to test what I'm going to talk about here in a bit, new Pocono track. I wanted to test other things. I didn't quite run as many laps here as I wanted to, but I did run probably around 60-ish laps. So I did 3 runs. The first one I did ran in the middle, and kind of middle to high. Towards the end, I started running high just to see if that little bit of amount of running in the middle created some kind of workable cushion. Not really. So then the second run, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to figure out how much dirt I can actually throw up from the bottom lane. So what I did was that second run, I did the top side. I just ran around, get all that dirt pushed up against the wall, so that then on the third run, I could run the bottom and then see just how much dirt was pushed up there. And they did change the dirt particle physics a little bit. Like you can kind of see the dirt bouncing, kind of, sort of now. There's more dirt particles, and probably so those last 2 runs were 18 laps, and after the last run I did, the third one running around the bottom, I probably built up some enough undriven on dirt back up to the outside lane further out from the wall. It was probably around 15% of what was originally there. So you get 22 cars running around that thing, you're gonna develop a cushion very, very quickly, which is how it should be.
Well,
Especially,
that's after 1,000 laps.
Yeah. Well, I'm also curious to see that that picture we showed last week, and that iRacing keeps putting out of lap 0, lap 100, 1,000, 2,000, or whatever it is. Is that a lap of 1 car?
I know. I was just
20
thinking,
cars.
I was thinking that. So it's like that 1 lap multiplied by 20.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's probably 1 car.
Because technically each car would be their own lap. So
true. Yeah, didn't think of it like that.
20 cars in there. They run 10 laps. It's 200 laps technically.
Boom.
Yeah, so you get 22 cars on that thing, which is what World of Outlaws runs in their feature final main. You'll develop a cushion really quickly, which is very important for Eldora. I know when Dirt came out and Eldora came out and I raced there, I was kind of disappointed with it because they said the outside line would come in, and it did come in, but you could still get beaten on at the bottom if another driver was running at the bottom. So I was like, that's not quite accurate, but it's Eldora, so I'll just let it slide. But now it should be better. I'm excited to do some races at Eldora whenever the 360s and 410s race back there. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. I want to try it out too. I'm interested in the cushion.
Yeah. I did dirt for a little bit, and then I just quit.
It's because Rallycross came out.
Yeah, but I don't even race Rallycross. I've done 3 races.
Then you went back to oval racing, or no, we did endurance racing and then oval.
Yeah, Daytona. We started preparing for Daytona, and I just never got back into it. But anyway, speaking of ovals,
yes.
Let's see. When did I say they scanned Pocono last week?
2014.
2014. So yeah, 4 years later, here's the new Pocono.
We have a video for that, guys. We can. You want me to go play the video? Or you want to talk about it first?
Oh, you got a video for us?
I have a video for us.
Okay, play the video. Man. Let us know when you play it.
Yeah,
so we don't talk over it.
We'll be back, guys. We'll play the video. We'll be back for real quick.
Okay, so
all right, guys,
that was pretty cool.
It's the exact same track.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's still a triangle. Just a lot smoother. I ran a good bit of laps on earlier today. It's pretty fun.
I suck at it now.
It's different. You gotta back. You're so much faster. You gotta back up like a lot of the corners.
Well, just remember it could be the build too.
Yeah, and it's also the setup, I think. But so
the setup is very tight.
Yeah. So
just think of when the build came out versus the last time you've been to Pocono.
Yeah, and I think it'll loosen up too, Brian, because it's actually like 52% cross weight, so it's a lower cross weight setup. So
yeah,
it's already loose.
I did notice that further into the run. I think I only ran like 4 or 5 consecutive laps. I didn't really.
Me and Cedric ran like 5-6 laps, like side by side and stuff, and it didn't really ever feel like it was going to, but I don't know.
It did get looser.
Yeah.
But by the time that it loosened up enough to where you could actually kind of drive it off out of the corner on the exit, you had already lost so much speed to tire wear that it was pointless to try to push off of the exit.
Definitely.
Turn 1 is bumpier than I thought it would be.
Well, I thought it would be the bottom is smooth, but up in the middle group, there's a bump.
It's hard to get down there, though.
I'll show you how to get down there.
Okay.
Get down on it.
Yeah.
We'll have a team meeting on that one.
Yeah, I tried. I tried running the top. It's just that it's such a larger distance to cover.
Yeah.
But the top, I like running up there.
Yeah.
It's just not fast.
It's not gonna work with this one.
The tunnel turn.
Different.
Is very well. Before we even get there, the 2 straightaways that aren't the front straightaway, now have walls on the inside. You can't block me to the grass anymore.
Yeah, and there's gonna be some gnarly wrecks now. Inside walls bouncing back up the track.
Mm-hmm. People get loose just off grass.
So we should have some interesting there.
It's kind of like a bottleneck right there.
Yeah.
It's like Dover.
I was gonna say Martinsville.
It's basically Martinsville, just double wide.
And a triangle.
The tunnel turn doesn't have a curb on it no more.
Yeah, that.
Oh my god! Thank God.
I'm glad too. I'm glad too. I didn't like that curb.
I loved it. I'd
rather have a line.
I swear that tunnel turn is sharper than it used to be.
I don't think it is. I think it's the banking changed a little bit.
Oh, they did change the banking, didn't they?
I think it's a little flatter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's why.
It looks flatter. I don't know. Maybe it's just because there ain't no curb there, and it doesn't look as like.
Maybe that's why it's so tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I always loved hitting that curve. You know, you would always have a good entry there, but later in the run on the old track, you start pushing up towards the wall, and so you could hit that curb and kind of turn the car.
Yeah, help it turn.
Can't
do that no more.
Over.
Yeah, we're flip over. Yeah,
there's a nice curb in 3, though. I'll tell you that. Don't hit that too hard.
She got curbs, huh?
Yeah, it. Oh yeah, she got. We know how you feel about them curbs, Nick.
Make love. No, that was. Oh yeah. I'm the curb guy. Zach's the wall guy.
The wall guy, and I'm the no guy. Cause yeah.
Moving on.
But, yeah, Zach, about that curb in turn 3, I hit it once, and I was like, I never want to hit that again.
Yeah, I hit it one time racing Cedric, and it was.
It unsettles the car so much.
I did a wheelie, I think.
A wheelie?
It was pretty crazy. It's a big change for me though in turn 3 because I'm the driver that used to run the patch. Patch was life for me because I always ran the patch because if you ran the bottom, I always felt like you got too loose as the run went on to get turned. It's almost a tight loose condition.
Get turned.
Stop.
And you gotta get turned. And I used to be the patch guy. I'd run up in the patch, so now I'm gonna have to run the bottom with everybody. But I still ran the bottom every now and then. But the patch was definitely my favorite line.
Especially after you saw what I did following you. Sir.
It's definitely it's gonna be interesting. It's one of my favorite tracks on the circuit, so because it's a triangle, it's different.
I love it. But I hate it.
I think it'll produce some good racing.
I'm sure you'll get
definitely.
Better at it.
Yeah. What'd you say, Nick? My bad.
I say I'm sure you'll get better at it. I'm talking to Brian.
Yeah, he will. He's
Mr.
He just
Pocono.
ran like 5. Yeah.
Pocono?
Except he's never won there.
Shots.
Should have wrecked you, but hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah, you should beat Todd Conroy too.
It's okay. We've all wrecked each other at least once.
That was in my rookie days.
That was my rookie days. But it's all good.
Okay. You got anything else for iRacing?
I think that was
I don't. There's several other little updates that there's cool little tiny tidbits, but I feel like this is kind of the big four things right now. So.
Oh yeah, and the IndyCar came out. Brian's just salty about it, so we don't talk about
IndyCar.
Looks nice.
It looks awesome.
It does look pretty cool. I'll probably get it eventually.
Yeah, I'll get it eventually.
Just make sure it's within 6 months of the next one.
Yeah, of the new one.
Right. You just gotta wait till the next one. Damn it! So get the next one free.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
so I'll wait 4 years then.
I guess that's all we got today. You guys want to add anything else besides iRacing?
That's it. If anybody else wants, if any viewer out there, any person watching wants to add something to our podcast, we'll definitely add it. Like Nick said, social medias are all right here on the page. The HFS at the HFS Podcast is our Twitter. Halford and Son is our YouTube page, and Halford and Son Podcast is our Facebook page. So you can find us there. Those social media links.
Mm-hmm. We're open to requests. And whatever you want us to talk about. This podcast is
a morphing podcast, so we're learning as we go. It was like Brad Kozlowski said, we're Transformers, baby.
Oh my god! All right, well, look forward to next week. We got NASCAR at Phoenix. All 3 series, correct? Trucks.
I'm actually not sure about that. I think.
Okay, well, we know the Cup cars are there, and that's all.
Cup are there. We'll bring the rest.
And you got F1 testing at Barcelona again today through the 9th, and then a little more on iRacing. We'll get you a little.
Sorry for any F1 guys.
What kind of bugs pop up?
Sorry for any F1 fans out there. Anybody listening? We will get back on F1 as soon as they go to Melbourne. March 25th is the race, so
just not a whole lot.
That Tuesday after that, we'll cover that race, and unless something groundbreaking happens, but it's just testing right now. So
what did you say earlier, Zach?
What?
The story you made up about if something big like that happens.
Oh no, we're not gonna talk about that.
You don't want to repeat
it in the podcast. We love you guys.
Sayonara, adios.
Bye.
Later, everybody.